Natalia dead. Marco's heartbreaking reaction to the Truth General Hospital spoilers. Port Charles was unusually quiet the night Natalia Ramirez was found dead. Her body was discovered in her hotel suite at the Metro Court by housekeeping staff after she missed a scheduled brunch with Brooklyn and Blaze. The young singer Blaze, Natalia's daughter, had tried calling multiple times, first thinking her mother was sleeping in, then growing increasingly worried. What began as a suspicious but ambiguous death quickly turned into a full-scale investigation when forensics revealed that Natalia's death wasn't natural. Marco Santiago, Natalia's new love interest and business partner, was called to the scene by Detective Chase. Upon arriving, Marco's face went white. His hands shook as he surveyed the room. Everything looked undisturbed, yet something was very wrong. When Blaze was informed, her scream echoed through the halls of General Hospital. Brooklyn held her tight as she collapsed, unable to believe her mother, who had only recently re-entered her life, was gone. The two had only just begun repairing their strained relationship. Blaze immediately suspected foul play. "My mother was healthy," she insisted. She had no heart issues, no history of anything serious. This wasn't an accident. Brooklyn tried to be the voice of reason, but even she admitted something felt off. Blaze's grief soon turned to suspicion, and she knew exactly who she wanted answers from first: Marco. Detective Chase questioned Marco for hours. His alibi was shaky. He claimed to have been out late finalizing a business deal with an unnamed investor, but he had no witness to verify it. When asked about Natalia's mood lately, Marco hesitated. She was anxious, he finally admitted. She said she was being followed. She didn't want to tell Blaze because she didn't want to worry her. Chase's ears perked up. Followed by whom? Marco glanced away. She didn't say, but she got a threatening letter last week. I told her to go to the police. She refused. The existence of a letter changed everything. Inside Natalia's suite, the CSI team recovered a single scrap of paper burned in a fireplace. Only the words, "You'll regret," were legible. Dante joined Chase in reviewing the security footage of the Metro Court. Someone in a hoodie had entered the hallway near Natalia's room around 2:33 a.m. Though their face was obscured, their height and build resembled a woman. Brooklyn mentioned something strange. Natalia had a weird interaction with Christina a few days ago, she whispered. They argued, something about Blaze. Maybe jealousy? Could this mystery have something to do with Blaze's rising fame or her past? When word of Natalia's death reached Sonny Corinthos, he acted fast. As Blaze was close to Christina and Brooklyn, and Blaze had previously performed at events for Sonny's charities, he considered her under his protection. Sonny began making quiet inquiries. He pulled Dex into action, instructing him to find out who might have wanted Natalia dead. What Dex found in less than 24 hours was chilling. Marco wasn't just Natalia's business partner. He had been married before, to a woman who died under mysterious circumstances 5 years ago. The case had never been solved. Natalia's autopsy report came in, and it stunned everyone. The cause of death? A rare combination of toxins administered through a transdermal patch on the back of her shoulder, hidden beneath her dress strap. It had been carefully placed and dosed to mimic a heart attack. It was a murder. The police now had a homicide on their hands. Blaze demanded justice. Who would do this to her? She sobbed to Sonny. Chase confronted Marco with the autopsy findings. Marco was speechless, trembling. I didn't kill her. I loved her, he insisted. I begged her to move in with me. Why would I kill her? But his history and the eerily similar death of his ex-wife made things murky. Brooklyn found Natalia's diary in a drawer Blaze had overlooked. Inside were detailed entries from the last few months, entries that exposed more than Blaze or Marco could imagine. Natalia had written about overhearing Marco on the phone with someone named Allegra, discussing a plan to silence the past. She feared he had secrets. She considered running. Even more disturbing, Natalia wrote about a stranger from her past reaching out, someone she believed was stalking her. A name was scribbled repeatedly across several pages: Mateo. Blaze didn't know a Mateo. But Sonny did. Mateo Chavez was presumed dead in South America years ago. A known associate of several cartels, he had gone dark after a DEA operation busted his last safe house. Sonny's contacts confirmed what Natalia had feared: Mateo was alive. And Natalia had once been romantically involved with him, long before Blaze was born. The theory began to form: Mateo had reappeared, blackmailed Natalia, and possibly killed her to keep her silent. Marco's connection to Mateo was now under scrutiny. Chase learned that Marco once worked under an alias for a security firm in Argentina, the same one rumored to be a front for Mateo's cartel. Blaze was inconsolable. In a tearful conversation with Michael Corinthos, she admitted she felt like everyone she trusted had betrayed her. "My mother's dead. Marco lied to her. And now I find out she was afraid every day she was with me." Michael, having lost Willow once to presumed death, tried to comfort her. "You have the right to be angry. But you also have the right to know the truth." Blaze began pushing the police, demanding full transparency. She also cut off all contact with Marco. Meanwhile, Brooklyn made a silent vow to Blaze: "I'll find who did this. I promise." Back at Natalia's suite, a USB flash drive was found tucked behind a drawer. It contained one voice memo. Natalia's voice: "If anything happens to me, it was Mateo Chavez. And Marco, he knows more than he says. I don't know who I can trust anymore. I'm scared. If Blaze hears this, Mija, I love you. I'm sorry I wasn't stronger." The message destroyed Marco's credibility. Chase confronted him again. This time, Marco broke down. He admitted he had once worked for Mateo, but claimed he had cut ties years ago. "I warned Natalia not to talk to him. But she didn't listen. She thought she could handle it." Marco denied involvement in her death, but Mateo's shadow loomed over everything. With Sonny's help, Chase and Dante tracked Mateo's last known associate to a safe house outside of Port Charles. A raid was conducted, but Mateo was gone. Only his signature calling card was left behind, a black rose dipped in blood. The feds were called in. The case went federal, but Port Charles police were allowed to continue under joint jurisdiction. Now it wasn't just about justice for Natalia, it was about preventing more deaths. Natalia's funeral was held in a rain-soaked ceremony on the cliffs outside Port Charles. Blaze gave a heartbreaking eulogy, reading from her mother's diary and quoting the last memo. She was scared, but she didn't give up. "I'll carry that strength with me forever." As Natalia was laid to rest, the camera panned to a distance, where a man in a gray fedora and black overcoat watched from afar. His face was hidden, but his presence was chilling. Mateo? Or someone else? After the funeral, Blaze announced she was canceling her upcoming tour and retreating from the public eye. She moved in with Brooklyn and Chase temporarily to grieve and regroup. Meanwhile, Dante received a call from the DEA. Mateo had been spotted in Chicago. He had Natalia's photo in his wallet, crossed out with a red X. Blaze's photo was next to it. The implication was clear: she was next. Chase rushed to Brooklyn's apartment with the news. Sonny had already doubled security around Blaze. "No one's going to touch her," he swore. Though all signs point to Mateo, a final twist revealed that the patch used to poison Natalia was a rare prototype created by a corrupt pharmaceutical researcher, someone Marco had once hired to assist in illegal surveillance tech. Was Marco more involved than he let on? As the camera faded to black, Marco was seen burning old files, papers with Mateo's name, and a list of other women. Natalia wasn't the only one who had suffered. Justice wasn't finished. But Natalia's voice remained in Blaze, in her final recording, and in the hearts of everyone she had touched.